Hi, I'm Donna Ray.
And I'm Al Wadley.
Welcome to our podcast, Feldenkrais for Life.
In each episode, we will discuss ideas and experiences pertaining to the Feldenkrais method.
You're going to learn skills that will move pain to comfort, anxiety to ease, and we'll explore learning and how to spark creativity.
To learn more about Donna, visit her site at donnaray.com.
To find Al Wadley, go to achievingexcellence.com. Hi, Al.
Hey, Donna. How are you doing?
I'm good. I'm excited about our new mouth and jaw series. We're going to talk about that today, I think.
Yeah, the whole mouth and jaw is just a fascinating topic. It's been something that I've been really interested in for literally decades. It's been something I've been working with myself and my students for a very long time. I found the whole subject really fascinating and a really key element in improving one's health and overall well-being.
It's so true. The power of the movement of the mouth, the jaw, the tongue, and the relationship to our neck, shoulders, how we carry our head, use our eyes, connect to the world. It's all tied up with the mouth and the jaw and the tongue.
Yes. And it's so interesting that that's the first part of ourselves that we really use to sense the world. When we're infants in our early development, it's bringing everything we can to the mouth and the tongue to use it. So there's so many nerve endings, the lips and the tongue and the mouth. That's how we start to explore the world.
It's true. And that relates to the sensitivity of the face and the muscles of the face. And as you know, we all contract our facial muscles habitually. Sometimes we're frozen in expression, so to speak. And as people grow older, they in fact look like they're frozen in their expressions unless they do something to counteract that process of reducing the way they use the muscles of the face and the mouth and the jaw.
These lessons, these explorations that we've created are really involved in exploring the mouth, the lips, and the sensations and movements in the face. And then expanding the frame, the context. How does the jaw relate to the eyes? How does the jaw relate to the neck and the pelvis and the shoulders? So it has a very broad and deep range of connections that when you start to work with the jaw and clarify these connections, tremendous amount of release of tension can take place, improvement in the voice, eyes, improvement in the neck, all kinds of things can really come out of doing this kind of work.
We've talked about the distinctions, the subtle distinctions we make while doing awareness through movement. These distinctions are made automatically when you follow our lessons. So there's no concern about if you're doing them right or wrong. You just do them. You listen, you do them very, very gently, and all kinds of things open up. Now, when you think about your tongue isn't one muscle, but 17 muscles. And you'd have to take a look at that and examine how that works. But just think about speech for a moment and all the languages spoken in the world, all the different kinds of tongue movements we all make. It's so extraordinary. And your tongue doesn't stop in the back of your throat. It goes down inside your neck and your chest. So it really inhabits a large portion of your interior.
Yeah, it really does. I think we underutilize the tongue. I'm pretty sure I underutilize my tongue. I do work with my tongue to improve my speech. So I do some voice warm-ups and things like that to improve my articulation. To improve my articulation?
One of the lessons that Dr. Feldenkrais taught in professional training programs that we often teach too in our classes is the movement of licking an ice cream. So you protrude your tongue and move your tongue, but it's not just a movement of your tongue. Your whole torso becomes part of the movement of licking an ice cream. So you stick your tongue out and move it upward. Your head has to move, your jaw has to release, and your chest lifts and lowers. And so those of you that are listening, please play with that movement. You may look really silly. You might look very, very silly, but let's give it a try. Stick your tongue out That's it. Imagine an ice cream cone and then think of the ice cream dripping. You've got to catch those drips. And if you remember being a kid on a hot summer day holding your cone, you know it starts to drip very rapidly. So you have to turn your head this way and that to catch those drips. And you have to be pretty quick sometimes. That's it. Sense the movement of your tongue, the movement of your neck, and notice your breathing, how your head tilts back, your shoulder movements. All kinds of things are taking place. And you have to tilt your head a little bit this way and that. Catch those drips. That's it. It's a lot of fun. And you may even want to go get an ice cream after this. That's it. Now rest, pause for a moment, and sense yourself. Notice your mouth, your tongue, your jaw, the carriage of your head, the length of the back of your neck, the way your chest is resting. And what are you noticing? How about you, Al? I saw you goofing around with that.
Yeah, that was fun. So one of the things that I thought was interesting when I was doing that, I was opening my mouth and sticking out my tongue, that my face got long and my eyes got wide. My eyes widened as well. And that kind of brings to the foreground the connection of the eyes to the jaw, which is a really interesting connection. The muscles in the jaw interweave with the muscles in the neck, and the eyes also interweave with the muscles in the neck. There's a very powerful connection there.
It's so powerful, and it's so much fun to goof around like this. And you can do something like this, experiment, and we're moving, goofing, paying attention at the same time. A change takes place. Now, in the lessons that we recorded for you, there's a large combination. So you will explore your palate with your tongue, for example, your teeth, make very soft, subtle movements, go into a deep state of relaxation. And we have other lessons that are larger movements that include your neck, your shoulders, your chest, your pelvis. Those too are so relaxing. They deepen your sense of self, but they're more inclusive of your whole body, so to speak.
So one of the lessons that I teach in that series has to do with the eyes and the jaw, making that connection. And there's really interesting relationships between the eyes and the jaw. So if you move your jaw, just move your jaw to the left, back to the middle a few times, most people find that the eyes also go to the left a little bit. There's a tendency of the eyes to go in the direction that the jaw is going. So if we clarify that, then we can make it better. We can utilize the eyes to improve the movement of the jaw side to side. And if you open the jaw and you lift the eyes, it's going to help open the jaw. The mouth is going to open more because the eyes are an active extension. So the extensors are being engaged in the neck, and the opening of the jaw is also extension. So you're harmonizing the movement between the jaw and the eyes to help open the jaw more easily. So you can try that a few times. If you're not driving, if you're sitting around or standing, to just open the jaw a few times and look up with the eyes. And then try opening the jaw and looking down with the eyes and feel the difference.
Much more difficult.
Yeah, it's very different. Yeah, so the harmony in these relationships that we cultivate in these lessons. And once we create that harmony, that begins to integrate and takes away a lot of the tension in the neck and in the face and the jaw. I think, is a good time to talk about the muscles of the jaw. So the muscles are contracted constantly. And that's an act of flexion because flexors close joints. So like the bicep is a flexor, the hip joint is a flexor. When we experience stress and anxiety, we fold in front. We tend to contract the muscles in front. That's an action of flexion. The extensors are muscles that open joints. They're the ones that hold us upright for great periods of time. So we stand, we walk, and they open the joints, like the triceps, an example of that. The extensors are designed to function over long periods of time. Feldenkrais would say, you can stand on a ledge for hours or days. You can only hold on to a ledge for maybe a minute because the flexors aren't designed to hold like that. So if we hold the jaw closed, it's an exception to that rule. But that's also kind of where we get into trouble with the jaw. If we get stressed, we get anxious, we get worried, the flexors in the front contract, and we tend to contract the jaw more than we need to. And so we get that tension and we end up grinding our teeth and clenching and getting jaw pain. The infamous temporomandibular joint suffers from that, and that can lead to discomfort in the ears as well. So by opening all these things up, bringing awareness to this and bringing the eyes into action, we can start to open up the jaw and open up the front of ourselves so that the jaw can have a really nice neutral place where it's not hanging open or it's not closed tightly.
Yeah, and that way the lips can close, but the jaw can be free. As you were speaking, I remembered working with a student in the early days of my practice, and she was about to have a surgery that would mobilize the temporomandibular joints because she could not open her mouth more than about one finger.
Wow.
I gave her 3 hands-on Feldenkrais lessons, and she could open her mouth completely and normally. And I'm sure you know this. I don't know that our audience does, but one of the things that happens when you open your mouth is your jaw slides forward a small amount. And if people forget to do that for some reason, they can't open their mouth fully, especially if you're contracting the jaw backwards. If your muscles are really tight and you're into a habit like that and the jaw is going back toward the neck, you can try it. If you pull your chin back towards your neck and try to open your mouth, it does not open well. You slide your jaw forward, tilt your head back, and lo and behold, your mouth opens. So that's what she learned. She avoided surgery completely. She was so thrilled she joined a Feldenkrais training program.
Awesome.
It was a miracle. It was a miracle to me too. But we understand relationships of movement in this method. So we don't work with muscles. Although the muscles are responding, we work with movement. That's a thrilling experience because movement can be repeated. So once you learn a movement, you can repeat the movement over and over. That's why we say it's a method about learning and awareness. It's not about rubbing your muscles, because you could rub your muscles all day, but if you don't learn about the excursion of your jaw movement while you're opening your mouth, you're not going to be able to do that movement well. So all of these tricks, sometimes we just call them tricks. They're like little miracles. They're embedded in all the lessons that we guide you through in our series. And I want to mention one more thing. You look beautiful after doing the lessons because your face is relaxed and responsive. Your lips are full and you feel open and accessible, and it's a marvelous sense of self.
Yeah. And posture improves too. We're not working with just the muscles of the jaw. Everything is affected.
That's
the
right.
organization in the back and the pelvis. And it's a very interesting relationship of the pelvis and the jaw. They are connected not only skeletally through the spine, but they're also connected through the digestive tract. So, in through the mouth and out through the other end. So there's a really powerful connection there. And people, in my experience, if they're tightly held in the jaw, they're probably tightly held in the pelvis as well. And one can influence the other.
That's right. They're directly connected, as you said, in digestion, in and out. They're ends of the same digestive tract. So it's very important to understand that everything's related. All systems are related in this body of ours, in our nervous system.
Yeah.
So
when we improve the function, the muscles will organize around the function. You were mentioning earlier about, not rubbing the muscles and trying to massage things to change them to muscular level. The muscles are just doing what they're told to do. They're following orders.
The brain is the dictator.
Exactly. So if you change the function, if you change the way the brain is organizing the movement, then the muscles will fall in line with that improved function.
Yeah. And when you understand the nervous system, you understand that we have to go into what we call the parasympathetic part of the autonomic nervous system, which is the rest and restore aspect of our nervous systems. We have to rest and restore because when we're revved up all the time, it's too much revving. It's like keeping your foot on the accelerator constantly. And when you take it off, it's still revving. Now, you probably have that experience. I have when it gets stuck. I had a very old well, 1963 Volkswagen Bug, and it would get stuck and it would like, right? It would be in neutral, but it was still revving. That's what our nervous system does when it gets stuck in the sympathetic zone. By doing these lessons, it moves you to the rest and restore instead of the revved up zone. And we know that that even relates to heart rate variability. And we need to have variability. That's part of the variability is revving, slowing down, and restoring. And by practicing this, your nervous system becomes more responsive. And lo and behold, you sleep better at night because you know how to downshift. When your head hits the pillow, you want to move into the parasympathetic zone. Your whole self reduces effort. You breathe easily and you start to drift. So by doing these lessons, you're practicing resting and restoring your nervous system, your whole self. So many benefits. I hope you love them as much as we do.
Yes. I'm sure you will, because they're really super cool lessons. I've done them all, and I think they're a blast.
Well, I think they're restful and restorative. Mm-hmm. And I love doing them instead of taking a nap.
Oh,
in the afternoon when I want to go take a nap, because I've reduced my caffeine intake like many people are doing. In the afternoon, I'm like, I could really use a nap right now. But instead, I lay down for 30 minutes, do a lesson, get up and feel like, I'm refreshed and I can enjoy the rest of the day in the evening.
Nice.
Yeah.
I love that.
Well, thanks, Al. I'm really proud of the series that we've created together, and we look forward to your feedback. So
yes, indeed.
Check them out.
Yeah. There's a link to the product in the description below. So check it out. If you have any questions or comments, reach out to us. And of course, check out Donna's site at donnaray.com. And I am at achievingexcellence.com.
Thanks, Al. Talk to you soon. Bye.
Yeah, see ya.
Hi, I'm Donna Ray.
And I'm Al Wadley.
Welcome to our podcast, Feldenkrais for Life.
In each episode, we will discuss ideas and experiences pertaining to the Feldenkrais method.
You're going to learn skills that will move pain to comfort, anxiety to ease, and we'll explore learning and how to spark creativity.
To learn more about Donna, visit her site at donnaray.com.
To find Al Wadley, go to achievingexcellence.com.